Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this new episode of Breakfast with Boom. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and the Christmas of video games continues, ladies and gentlemen. What a week this has been, specifically for Double Barrel Gaming. Obviously, we had the big somewhat prediction show on Tuesday's Xbox Factor podcast. Wednesday, we had 16 people roll through, which was absolutely astounding. It was what if you missed it on the show, just head over to Double Barrel Gaming, go check that out. I mean, the guest list was ridiculously stacked. Of course, yesterday I got a chance to sit down with Mr. Badbit, and we talked about all of the insane breaking news for Xbox. And of course, right after that, Geoff Keighley had the start of course, Summer Game Fest. And there were a ton of reveals, really big ones. I think one of the highlights for me personally was that Game Pass, well, folks, I think it was proved its worth yesterday just on those announcements. Forget what has already released this year and what could potentially be coming for the remainder of the year. We got some big suggestions. Sarah Bond out there making some tweets. John is going to bring that up for us about exactly what she had to say about a very specific game that seems, well, just right for Game Pass. And of course, we have a guest coming in here. Drawn TJ will be joining us momentarily. But listen, let's get into the introductions, and we'll start with Web Dave. Web Dave, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Boom. I am so excited for Sunday. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, man. Yep. I'm here ready. Let's go. Fired up.
Yeah, it's expected to be a big show. Hey, Drawn TJ, welcome to the program, brother. We will get to you momentarily. Glad you can join us this morning. But John Wolf, welcome back to the program, brother. How you feeling?
Feeling well, man. It's been a very exciting week, Boom. Honestly, like I told you on Tuesday's show, which first, I just want to congratulate you, Boom, on putting on such a spectacular show.
Thank you.
You know, I loved hearing everybody's thoughts and predictions. It was fantastic. And if anyone listening hasn't listened to that episode yet, I really recommend that you listen to it after what we have to say here. And yeah, Boom, it's been a very exciting week. Like I told you on Tuesday, during this time of year, during E3 time, I always like to go back and look at previous E3 presentations and such, and I've been doing that the whole week while working. And dude, I'm hyped up. Summer Games Fest yesterday, I personally think it was a good show. Yeah, and we got lots to talk about today, people, so let's get into it.
Absolutely. And Fuzzy, what's going on, brother? Thank you for being here. We know that you're going to be rushing out of here at the 1 hour mark, folks. Real life, he's got to actually catch a plane, but he's still here for your fun and entertainment. Fuzzy, what's up, brother?
Well, I'm doing awesome. It's awesome to be here with you guys, and like it feels even better than like Gamer Christmas at this point because
sure
I'm getting ready to fly out there and stuff. But man, the show yesterday was awesome. The group you had on here was awesome, and man, I just can't wait for Sunday and some of these topics today.
What are you flying out to do, Fuzzy?
Oh, I'm going to be part of the Fan Fest watch party. So
there you go.
Anybody going
Sell
out there?
Your brand, brother. I hope you brought the video camera. I hope you're taking a bunch of pictures. Fan Fest is incredible. Even though this isn't the standard fare Fan Fest, it's still going to be great. I would imagine that you're going to probably walk away with a nice goodie bag. Microsoft is very generous when it comes to that. But yeah, dude, that's congratulations on getting picked. That is really awesome. And listen, can't wait to hear your experience on what you saw, what you had to do while you were over there. When we reconvene, because next week, listen, I'm just going to give everyone the heads up. 4 live shows, and you could imagine that every one of those shows are going to be reactions and opinions. Did Microsoft drop the ball at the goal line? Did Microsoft hit a home run, or did Microsoft, find somewhere in the middle? We won't know until Sunday. And then, of course, on Tuesday, Xbox Factor podcast, a different Xbox Factor podcast. We're going to have most of the members there, but we're going to have some people joining us because everyone's going to be covering the second event that's happening at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 90 minutes. It's their second show, which was expected to have some new new reveals. So that's going to be super exciting. So a total of 2 90-minute shows for Xbox. There's going to be a lot to talk about. And I got a lot going on next week. I'm probably going to be streaming at least 4 out of the 5 days, maybe even a 5th day if I can find the time. But we will get into that as we get closer to that. But let's finish off this strong. We have a guest joining us today, a good friend of the program, Drawn TJ. Welcome to the program, brother. How you feeling?
I'm doing good. It's early in the morning for me, but I'm glad to be here, dude.
Yeah, well, listen, we're glad to have you. I mean, if you're on the West Coast, then it means it is just after
It's
7.
real early.
Yeah, it's.
I went to bed at 2 last
Has the sun
night,
come up yet, brother?
Oh my
no.
God, barely,
Yeah.
barely.
I went to bed at 2 and I forgot that I was gonna be on the podcast at 7 because I forgot it was Friday.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're glad to have you. But thank you so much for joining us, folks. We got to welcome in 200 plus people already here. Like I always do, and I've been scolded by the good friend of the program, Randall Thor. Yeah, he says, boom, you gotta ask people to hit the like button. You gotta ask people to subscribe. I just take it for granted that you guys and gals do that. Well, listen, apparently that's not the case. So hit the like button if you're here. Okay, that's number one. And if you're new, let's consider subscribing to the channel. This is a channel that is a passion project from both my wife and myself. She usually handles the business on the back end. A lot of the business aspect of YouTube is run by her. And I'm the forward on camera front facing guy. Will you ever see her on camera? Maybe. I can't guarantee it, but this is something that we've been dreaming to do for a long time. We've hit pay dirt this year by hitting 10K. The goal for the remainder of this year is to hit 12, and we're close. We are a little under 1,300 away. And hopefully, because we have 6 months left of the year, we can somehow manage 1,300 subscribers. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the first topic. And here's the thing. I want to go right for the gusto. The Last of Us remake, ladies and gentlemen. This was shown off.
Hold on.
Here's the thing. I'm sorry.
Let me.
Okay, so The Last of Us remake. Let's talk about it. There are a lot of people that were underwhelmed. There were some people that were cheering in the aisles. There were people that were lukewarm on it. Web Dave, I want to go to you first on this as we wait for a Drawn TJ to get back in here. He apparently is having some technical issues.
I hear him just fine.
You and I were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the video. I watched what they showed. I watched the side-by-side comparisons. I watched, the interview with the director. I'm buying it, folks. I'm not going to sit here and BS you and suggest at all that it's something that doesn't interest me. I absolutely loved The Last of Us 1. I bought it originally with the collector's edition, which is still sitting here, literally still sitting here from the PlayStation 3 days. I then rebought it on the PlayStation 4 when it was a remaster. I know that there are some people that rebought it a third time on PC. And now this is the 4th iteration of this very, very classic PlayStation exclusive. But I you know what I was saying, and again, I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm buying it, folks. I'm not console warring in any way. Seeing it, I was like, okay, that looks good, but it doesn't look Resident Evil 2 remake great. That's my opinion on it. I thought it looked good. I'm buying it. I'm going to play through it. Am I going to platinum it? I couldn't tell you, but I'm definitely going to play through that game again. Web Dave, I'm interested to get your opinion. Obviously, the head of Naughty Dog was out there, doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he brought out the voice actors for both Joel and Ellie.
Oh yeah.
We got obviously we got a little information on what they've been playing, what they've been doing behind the scenes. For you personally, is this a day one pickup?
Not at all.
Okay.
Couldn't spend $70 on a game I've already played twice. I understand that it's souped up, vamped up, nice and clean, and that's great. And if Sony needs to have filler because they're not going to have a big holiday this year, I understand that. Oh, was that allowed? I'm sorry, but no, I'm just kidding. But really, seriously, it's not I'm sorry, I was stung, didn't it? Oh, that hurts. But yeah, no, it just doesn't seem like, I mean, it's a great game. I love it, but I played it. And, when it eventually comes, to their greatest hits at $20, maybe, or, hopefully comes on their service, I'll play it then. Other than that, no. $70 for a game I've already played. I mean, it's great, but it's, there's a lot of other places I want to spend my money.
Well,
That's not one of them.
again, one of the things that this is actually going to be a 3-tiered discussion, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to run through everyone first, and I'm going to come back around to it because I have a couple of questions that I want to pose, but I do want to get everyone's hot take. And Dave, we'll come back to you momentarily because we do have, like I said, this is a 3-tiered conversation.
Oh, yeah.
That
apparently I'm part of the problem, by the way. In the chat,
what's
that? Somebody said I'm part of the problem, not willing to spend $70.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, why should you spend $70 on a game that doesn't have anything extra? Yeah. I mean, see, like, is this a director's cut? Does this have footage never before seen left on the cutting room floor? Because we know that as these games are made, certain things are cut for technical reasons, for time, for size, scope, for scale, scoping. Right, the big controversy for Fable, scoping. It sucks the game, right? And it turns out that this game was scoped just like all AAA games were. That's just life. But we're not getting that. This is literally a 1-to-1 iteration. They showed it. They literally showed it's 1-to-1. Now, that's going to be a problem for some. I would imagine so. It's a problem for Dave. But, John, let's get your opinion on this, brother. This is big game, big IP, the 4th iteration of it. Day one for you or nay?
Not day one, Boom, but I will tell you that I saw the trailer when it got leaked on Twitter earlier than the announcement, and as I'm watching the trailer, I'm not seeing a difference right off the bat. Right, I'm not seeing what the update is. I'm seeing that the models look a little bit cleaner, but it wasn't until the actual showcase that they revealed it properly that they did the side-by-side comparison with the screenshots that they were going back and forth, where I was really like, okay, wow, that's okay. They actually did some work on this. Okay. The models look exactly what you would find in Last of Us 2. I think it's on par with The Last of Us 2. And then I started doing a little bit more digging, and I did see that that they did enhance the overall gameplay of the game, where it looks like they rehauled the engine so it's more in line with The Last of Us 2 in a gameplay perspective.
Okay.
Where I have seen people online that they're beast, Boom, when it comes to doing just crazy stuff within the game with Ellie, and I can just imagine how cool that would be to be able to have that type of gameplay with Joel. Now, I'm gonna tell you that the biggest thing keeping me from getting super hyped for this are 2 things. The first thing is WD, Dave already said it, the price. Yeah. $70 is a little bit steep. I think that Sony
there's a $100 edition on top of that.
Yes, and look, this obviously, I believe that WD, me and you are in the minority here, and I'll tell you why, because that thing sold out. Okay, so apparently me and you might be in the minority here that it's not a day one for us. We want to get it when it's more of a discounted price. At the time and till this day, I still think that The Last of Us Part 1 set the bar so high for what a video game can be, right? And Last of Us 2 as well. Forget about the story, forget about all that stuff. I'm just talking about from a pure game perspective. How the levels that of detail and storytelling and graphics, gameplay, all the little checkbox that Naughty Dog was able to hit with this franchise really set the bar that even Microsoft internally they're like, hey, we need to match this quality, right? Like that we need to get there. So I respect The Last of Us. I respect Naughty Dog, but they unfortunately are not going to get the $70 day one from me because they didn't give enough. Part 2 of the problem that I think it's missing in that package, where is Factions?
They showed something that is expected to be its own entity, where I think the evolution of Factions that was promised
right
to come for free is going to be a promise that's not going to be kept.
Right. And I get it. And that's fine. I understand that they have bigger plans. And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic experience. It's going to be led by some of Naughty Dog's best. So I'm confident in the product, right? The only thing is that why couldn't they just give us Factions updated to 60 frames and all that good stuff? Just a regular good old Factions to accompany that package. On top of that, I think that they could have justified this, Boom, and it would have been on everybody's purchase list and cart for sure this holiday. All they needed to do was include Last of Us 2 in the package, but they decided to kind of use people's nostalgia against them, which is a powerful weapon. It is. There's things Nintendo is notorious for this, so I can't blame Sony's business practice here, but I just have to make a choice as a consumer, and for me, unfortunately, it is not a day one. To answer your question, Boom.
No, and we're going to come back around with it because you're onto something. I think what Sony and Naughty Dog specifically are expecting is that people are going to buy this game, and then they're going to want to run out and rebuy or buy again or buy for the first time Last of Us 2. That's why it's not included. Factions is something that, it's there's a double. I've been saying this for years, that there is an unbelievable double standard both in media and in just the community. Factions was promised over 2 years ago, and it's still nothing. No updates, no hey folks, we haven't forgot about you. We know that their Sony is turning a new leaf. They're going to be more of a game company. They have 10 in development, as we know. Factions is probably one of them. Is Factions free? I don't know. Is Factions going to be a $70 purchase that they're going to want you to pay extra stuff for? I honestly couldn't tell you because they're not saying.
Yeah, the way that I took it when Neil said that he revealed the screenshot, to me, it sounded like that's going to be a paid product. I don't know if you guys got the same vibe.
It has its own story and everything. That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, time is going to tell. I honestly, as like I said, for anyone that's excited, I can see why you're excited if you loved it. Like I loved the original Last of Us. I literally hated the second one story. It was just, for me, it's awful. I don't want to get into that.
Hey, Boom, real fast. Is when you circle around to us, are you going to talk about the PC release of this? Was that going to be one of your things?
No. Well, I mean, if you want to mention it, by all means, go ahead and run crazy.
I do want to mention it real fast, not to go too deep in this, but I did find it curious how they kind of put it out there and like a softball. It reminded me of just someone chugging a softball at you, like saying, "Oh, it's also coming to PC real soon."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I found that funny because it's like, just release a day and day, guys. Like, pull the Band-Aid off already.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, listen, there's going to be a point where these are coming day and date, but what I'm going to circle back around to is whether or not this announcement means that God of War is delayed to 2023, which we obviously saw in the beginning of the week. The street date was moved to a placeholder date of 12/31/22. We know that that's a simple placeholder. This game is coming out in September. Of course, I'm talking about The Last of Us Remake. So, does that indicate a God of War delay, because they do have a game for the holiday season? We're gonna break that down. But Fuzzy, what are your takes on this, brother? I mean, were you impressed? Were you impressed enough to rebuy it for a fourth time potentially if you bought it on PC?
Up until they mentioned the $70 price, and John and Dave kind of touched on the reasons why. Like for me, if they did similar to like with the Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales pricing, where it was like
So you're getting two
either
games for the price of one for $70.
yeah, if they did like okay, it's a bundle, you get Last of Us 1 and 2. I mean, at that point, the $100 pack to me would make sense. But I for the one game not having factions more than likely going to be a paid game or something that I see. I really wish they had a lot more of their infrastructure in place, so that way we could find out, hey, if you're a premium member, much like where Stray and a couple other games are going in there day and date, if they had said on stage, okay, you buy this one at 70, when factions comes out, it is going to be like a 20, 30, 50, 70, whatever the price is. It's included for those that did either the $100 or the $70 one, or whatever the case is. And if you're a subscriber to the premium or deluxe, PlayStation Plus.
You know what? You basically, that was one of the other things we're gonna. I'll come back to everyone that we already cycled through. But I'm gonna say this right out of the gate, right along with what Fuzzy is saying. This was an absolutely missed golden opportunity for Sony to give back to their players.
There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry to say. We always joke around for the payers, right, instead of the players, and that's becoming more and more obvious with the way they're doing things.
Agreed, Boom.
This is a game. It's a remake, right? It's a 1-to-1 remake. I get it. The controls are going to be prettied up for the Last of Us 2, and that's awesome. For me, it's a day one buy, right? Maybe again, you some people are like, oh, Boom, you're part of the problem. Well, I mean, I love the Last of Us 1, so I'm going to buy the game. But I am going to say this: if Sony wanted to make this coming to a service an exclusive piece of content, they could have simply just left it to the highest $18 a month tier or the $120, the maximum tier. Hey, folks, listen. We know this is a classic game. We know you're excited. We want to give back to the fans. We know that the world has been a tough place, especially when it comes to finances for some people. If you are a maximum tier, high tier level of PlayStation Plus, this game is dropping in there day and date. And what that does is it flips the coin, because not only are you giving back to the people that are in your service, right, which is what you want to do, you are now potentially getting, I don't know, millions of more people to join the service because of they have an affinity or love for this franchise, for Joel and for Ellie, and for what The Last of Us means to them as PlayStation fans. Big, huge missed opportunity. But please continue, Fuzzy.
Yeah, to continue on that, it's one of those things where we see even in the Xbox ecosystem, like when they do stuff like that, there are still the enthusiasts of us that are still going to purchase that collector's edition or that deluxe edition. So they're still going to get money on the back end as far as for the full game sales. They're going to get probably more people to subscribe to the premium tier, because at this minute, I'm kind of on the fence. Like, Stray is not enough at this point in time.
Stray looks great, but not enough for me to pay $18 a month. Absolutely not.
Right. Like, I'll probably just buy that game outright. But if you're going to put kind of like that same value aspect that Xbox does with Game Pass for the service, all right, I'm going to sign up for the premium tier. And, something like Stray at that point, okay, yeah, I'm not buying the game day and date, but let's say, okay, it is exactly what I expect. It's going to be a game I want to keep. Yeah, I'll still want to go in and buy, because I did that with Psychonauts. I did that with 12 Minutes and quite a few other games that were like that. So I'm going to get the game at some point. I'm not going to wait for them to do the $20 discount, because I know that's going to be some time, because they're adamant about not discounting it.
You know what's interesting? You say the word discount. Weren't you promised discounted prices of games? If you were
a Plus member,
yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's one of those things where they'll give the discount on
discount or no.
I don't foresee them doing a discount on this game. Like, the big advantage I've seen with discounts have been things like Sifu. Sifu, if you did the pre-order, you got I want to say 10% discount or something like that, or maybe it was 15%. There's a few other games that they do that, but very rarely do they do that with their first party titles. I think Destruction All Stars may have been the kind of the exception, only because they kind of threw it into PS Plus, but I think we all know why they threw it into PS Plus.
Nobody's going to spend $70 in that game, and if you did, you would have thrown yourself out of a window.
You know what the funny
Straya's on
thing is,
sale.
guys? The funny thing
Pre-order.
is that if they would have came out and they would have said that this title was $40, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
No,
they would
that's
get my
absolutely
money day
correct.
one.
Yeah,
exactly. But that's pretty much all I have on it. It's just like John just nailed it on the head. If this had been kind of like in the $40 or $50 range, I don't think we would even bring this up in the slightest. But the fact that it's 70, yes, I get it. It's going to have the updated mechanics. It's going to have the updated visuals, and that's great. So did Spider-Man 2018 when you bought it with Miles Morales. So what are we saying as far as, was that supposed to be 70? No, it wasn't. It was 50, I think. Or maybe it was 60 for both of them or something. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it sure wasn't 70 when I got both. But that's just my take on it.
It was $50 for Miles and $20 for the Spider-Man upgrade.
Okay, yeah. So
but
70
it was still a
that's
$70
fine.
package, and what's interesting is you got all the Spider-Man DLC with that as well.
Absolutely.
So the inherent value versus what they're offering, they are completely banking on nostalgia as being the push for someone to actually spend the money. TJ, before I get to you, brother, let me catch up on some of these outrageous super chats. The first one of the day comes to us from Don Otaku, who drops several, and actually his third one really, really hits home. But the first one he drops of $10 says, "Haven't been able to catch you live in a while, but still listen on demand later. SGF was okay. It had some good showings, but they spent way too much time on games that it didn't need. Last of Us Part 1. There you go. We also have Elemental P, a good friend of the show. He drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, "Happy Friday, gamers. I love going into the gaming showcase not knowing an actual thing. Surprise, surprise. Let's go." Yeah, Microsoft has been really close to the vest. Don Otaku drops an additional $10 super chat and says, "The Last of Us gameplay is mediocre, so I'm glad that they're using The Last of Us 2 gameplay. That was 10 out of 10. But for $70 with no multiplayer, it's a hard pass. I'll play it when it's in PlayStation Plus." Elemental Pio drops an additional $5 super chat and says, "I would love the Halo CE remade in Unreal Engine 5 with Coalition 343 and Infinity Ward making it special with enhanced stories." Wow, dude, that would be one hell of a collaboration, and they should hire you as a market manager because you should get that done. Risk it for the biscuit. Hey, what's going on, brother? How you feeling? He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "As a gamer known to be Xbox biased, I'm buying The Last of Us Part 1 day one. The update to this game is clear. It's one of the greatest games ever made. $70 though is BS." And yeah, I agree with you. Don Otaku, this is what I was talking about. Now Don brings up a great point, and I'll let Drawn TJ drive this home. He drops an additional $5 super chat, and he says, "If this was EA or Ubisoft pulling something like this and charging $70 for a remake with less content than the original, they would not get a pass." Just saying.
They would be crucified.
They would absolutely be crucified. And again, it's the Sony cultism that comes into question, and it's certainly we've heard that if you don't play nice with Sony, you're out. And this is more of terror tactics that we're seeing happen here. King One Supreme drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "As per Jason Schreier, God of War not delayed, planned to drop in November. As an Xbox stan, I hope Sony is petty and drops God of War on 11/11/22. This would be fire in Phil." Yeah, I mean, it would. I said this weeks ago. I said if I was Sony and I wanted to be a total a-hole, I would drop it on 11/11/22. But we'll see. Drawn TJ, let's get your opinion on this. Is The Last of Us 1 remake worthy of a day one purchase for you?
You know what? I've never played The Last of Us, and I don't own a PlayStation 4 or 5, so I'm going to get it on PC when it comes to PC, because this will be my first time ever playing it, so I understand for most of you, you've already owned it. Like this is what the fourth time this will be if you buy it.
Yeah.
So I can't. I mean, since I'm a first time buyer, I can let it pass. But if I was in your guys' shoes, I'd be kind of a little bit mad because I'd be like, really $70. Miles Morales and the other Spider-Man are what? Would you say they were like $80 or $50 for
It was
both?
it was actually 70. It was 70 and you
$70.
got
Okay,
Miles and you
okay.
got the Spider-Man update.
That's reasonable, and that's coming to PC. Man, it's crazy that they think they could get away with this. I mean,
Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question, Dron TJ. Let me ask you a question,
ahead.
right? From a person that's never played this game, right?
Yep.
When
Go ahead.
have you, from looking at The Last of Us remastered that you can probably get and play through on a PS5 through backwards compatibility, is the difference significant enough for you to drop 70 instead of just getting The Last of Us remastered way cheaper?
Hey, can I say something to that real quick?
Of course.
Yeah, go
That
ahead.
I'm looking at GameStop website. You can get the PlayStation 4 on a disc version of The Last of Us remastered used for just $7.99.
There you go.
$8. $8.
Just saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
$8. Yeah.
Or new for
Um,
10.
New for 10. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, that's cheap. Yeah, like, I mean, if if the PlayStation 4 version doesn't look anything, if it looks almost the same, like there's not much to justify it on the PlayStation, and you've already owned it before through backwards compatibility, I don't see the reason to buy it brand new, like for $70, to be honest. But
Yeah.
if you're new and you've never played it, you've never gotten into that franchise, then go ahead and punch it and do the $70. But if you've already played it, I wouldn't recommend it because I watched it and I watched the sliders, the side by side. It's not a big enhancement. I mean, it looks good for what I'll be getting it for, but yeah, I definitely want to. That would be like me buying Halo again and again and again, and they barely do anything to it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not justifiable.
Well, I mean, listen. Now again, circling back around to everyone's opinion regarding whether or not this release, which is a first party release, the first party release, does this mean God of War is delayed? Again, look, here's the thing. I know Jason Schreier, gets it right a lot, even though he's a piece of garbage, but he does get it right a lot.
That's not the word you used last time.
I know. I'm trying to be politically correct and not be a d-bag.
He's trying to be nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm still gonna give him the smoke, but I'm just trying to be nice about it. The thing is this: what we saw happen to Horizon Forbidden West with its bugs. So it again, I've said this before, probably half a dozen times, maybe more than that. The bug situation in that game was so egregious that it caused me to not play the game anymore. I have not been back to it. Joe, Mr. Badbit, has assured me that it has been fixed. Obviously, I'm eventually going to get back to it. I am.
You're not the only one, Boom. I know that Kay Asante was playing the game a lot.
Yeah, he had 110 hours in, and his save got corrupted from the update. Thankfully, though, the fine folks over at Guerrilla Games did get back to him and fixed his save. Otherwise,
That's awesome.
So that they did make it right. Let's just say that. But the truth of the matter is that if God of War continues to get pushed, that means there's something wrong with the game. Now, what is that? Is it the graphics? Probably not, because it's God of War 2018, which was amazing. So this is probably this could be pacing issues. This could be bugs. This could be a multitude of things. If it launches this year, wow, that's a banner year for Sony, give or take, and making, obviously, because The Last of Us looks like it's going to be a great game. It's going to be what we've played, but it's going to be a great game, not worth $70. But God of War is going to be amazing if it doesn't suffer from what really hurt both Gran Turismo 7 and Horizon Forbidden West. And that would be a pretty good year, and would come on a year that Microsoft is a little light on first party. So we'll see. We'll see whether or not that, in fact, is the case. But I want to get everyone's opinion on whether or not you think we still get God of War this year in November, as Jason Schreier is saying. But Pragmatic Eagle, good friend of the program, drops a $5 super chat and says, value is subjective. It's not the price that's the issue. The issue is only when people are hypocritical, i.e., it's bad if Microsoft does it and great if Sony, or good if Sony does it. And you are onto something. That's right. Again, that's the double standard, both within the industry and in the community that I am talking about. But we'll start first with Dave. Dave, God of War, yes or no this year?
I mean, considering it was basically, originally built that it was supposed to be an expansion pack or an update, that they basically just decided to go ahead and make it its own game. I mean, all the elements are pretty much there, and it's a matter of story, and they've got some good people writing, story and stuff. So I mean, it's a possibility that it definitely gets done. A lot of people seem to believe that it's going to be, going to be there day and day. Do I personally think so? I don't know. I really don't. It's but they do still have time. If because Sony could do a state of play just for that game, coming out next month, like in July or in August, and say state of play on, God of War Ragnarok. And then we could see, oh, okay, cool. And then they'll set the date, set the time, set all the, parameters, could be as late as December, and it will still make it, in the year. But, especially since they don't have what they were up against before, it would make them look better if they could get it out, and probably help their sales even more. Like I said, it's going to be a great game. Your God of War games are good.
Yep.
No doubt about that. I'm not saying anything bad against the game, but I'm saying if you had to spend your money on, Starfield or something like that, most people would probably go with Starfield over God of War. Don't have to worry about that if you're in Game Pass. But but now, since God of War is delayed, or excuse me, since Starfield is delayed, the other is like, God of War, let's get it out. They would be smart if they get it out this Christmas. Is it going to be out this Christmas? I really, honestly, I'm up in the air, but I say they're going to try everything they can to get it out this year. But right now, they still haven't made that official date announcement and set it on your calendars, and when you can pick up your reserve. That's the only thing that's, that the longer that waits, the longer it goes, the more I think it's not going to make it this year.
Yeah, absolutely. John, let's get your opinion on this. With the announcement of Last of Us Remake, which is going to sell. It's going to sell like hotcakes, no doubt about that.
Yep.
Does this somehow take the pressure off of Sony Santa Monica to not have to rush to get this game out? Because obviously they want a game to sell PlayStation 5s should they have them available, and PlayStation 4s. What do you think?
It's a yes and no, Boom, from my perspective. When you do investigative work, Boom, like you did in your career and I do in mine, there's a lot of things that you kind of you have a holistic view of things, and you kind of see the moves that these two companies are making. Let me attack this from this angle. I think that Jim Ryan and PlayStation and Sony as in whole are keeping a very close eye on what happens this Sunday. Very close. Okay. And the reason being, because if they see that Microsoft comes out and they have nothing coming out for the rest of the year, and they know that they can buy time for Sony Santa Monica to polish up the game as much as possible and push it back to first quarter next year, I think they're going to do that. But they also have a challenge knowing that Microsoft is going to be releasing titles early in the year. So right now, they are in a strategic battle, not only internally to see if this game is polished enough to release, if they're going to make it to the finish line this year, but also they need to keep their eyes on the competition. Okay. We know that look, we all know it's no secret. Sony's is the champs. They're the king of the mountain right now, but you have a hungry Microsoft right on their coattails. And this train is just picking up steam and more steam. The sales are going up. The Series S is selling like hotcakes. In Japan, these things are selling. Jim Ryan and company know this. So they know that the only thing they can do to offset the momentum is to bring out big titles, right? Because that's going to make people say, I want a PlayStation. And right now, even with that said, people still want these consoles, even without these games having firm release dates. The Series X and the PS5 cannot be kept in stock. So it's kind of from that perspective, I think that they feel okay. But I think that what they really, if we were to talk one-on-one with Jim and he was candid with us, I think that he would let us all know, I really want this title to come out this year because I need the separation. I need the breathing room from Microsoft. They're right on our tails. And I need something that trumps whatever it is that Microsoft is going to bring out on Sunday, because it's an avalanche of stuff that's coming our way. And God of War is our weapon. You know, it's the biggest gun that we have in our arsenal. So I think that they're going to push Boom as much as possible that they can. To answer your question, it depends on what Microsoft says this Sunday, whether God of War releases this year or not. And I'm going to tell you why. The title that you mentioned, Horizon, proved it. They are willing to release a title knowing that it's bug infested. They proved it with Horizon. Okay, so if we're gonna sit here and we're gonna pretend that Sony does not bring out titles with bugs, it's a lie. Remember, this is a new regime. People keep on thinking that this is Sean Layden's PlayStation. This is Jim Ryan's PlayStation. And that's something I think that we really need to understand. And again, not taking anything from them. Boom. Again, they're the kings right now, the kings of the mountain. I'm tipping my hat to them. No disrespect in any way. But again, we need to be real and we need to understand that it's a business and Jim Ryan is a money man. And he knows he needs God of War to release this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if they can get it out, then on paper, it's going to be a great year for Sony. Obviously, Gran Turismo release, first party. Horizon, first party. Last of Us 2. Last of Us 1. There's some people in the chat saying it's not going to sell like hotcakes. I don't know, man. I mean,
it's already sold out.
Yeah, it's that game is going to sell, man. I mean, you got the HBO series coming, right? Last of Us 2 for a lot of people, not for me. I loved the graphics. I loved the crafting and the RPG elements. Unbelievably hated the story, especially
when is it coming to PC?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
they didn't give a firm date, but what they did was they kind of hinted coming shortly to PC.
Shortly. Okay. So I mean, what is shortly? Is it a week? Is it a month?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Is it 6 months after?
I'll get on PC.
If they want to make maximum sales of the $70 game, they're gonna release it on. They're gonna release it. Could this be the first actual day and date? Maybe they were a little gun shy of saying, "Hey, it's gonna release on PC," because you know the PlayStation community is up in arms over this, which I don't understand why. Who cares? It's coming to PC. More people are going to play it. What do you care? But look, let's get Fuzzy on here, and then Fuzzy, we're going to come back around because I know you got to get out of here. What are your thoughts, man? Does God of War make it? Because obviously this game has been delayed for a bit. We know that it was delayed because the mocap actor, you know, thank goodness he's back to being in great shape. He had multiple surgeries. They delayed it. Sony delayed it for him specifically, and he talked about that publicly. He actually took the blame for himself for the game being delayed. Which, you know, listen, your health's got to come first. Right. Does this game actually have a shot of releasing in November, as Jason Schreier is saying?
I think it does, but to touch on like what John said, I think there is going to be a little bit of cat and mouse as far as they're going to watch the Sunday show, and it's not that they have to, but it's like if your competitor is not really releasing anything, you could either take the opportunity to kind of stomp on them a bit until because they're already talking about 5 games next year possibly, so you might want to get ahead of that curve by releasing your 5 or close to 5 this year.
Mhm.
But I think the other big aspect, and to touch on the PC and the things, and I can't remember if it was Everborn or somebody else like Keisante that may have said it before. I think it kind of depends more so on Nixus at this point. And not to go down the conspiracy theory road, but if you're going to release a day and date PC title, what better one to try that with than God of War? And
Indeed.
yes, the community with consoles would have a
I would
conniption,
love
but
that.
they would still buy it. Well,
Yeah.
what else are they going to do? They're going to throw their PlayStation out to all of a sudden jump on an Xbox that they didn't have before. I mean, those that already have both consoles are going to buy it anyway. So it's like, come
Right.
on, go ahead, release it on PC at the same time. If Nixus can get it ready for the port to be ready day and date, as opposed to 6 months down the road, that would be an awesome holiday. And I guarantee you're going to see something like 20 million sales in less than 2 months. So I think it kind of weighs on Nixus at this point. And the other aspect is, well, how loaded is Xbox's, next couple of months,
Yeah.
especially with them already claiming they're going to do 5 releases next year. I mean, in the game of business, it's like, you're playing a little bit of chicken. So if your competitor is already saying they got 5 bullets in the chamber for next year,
5
why not
plus
start
actually
firing
is what
now?
the article said. It wasn't just 5. They
Yeah,
said
at
at
least.
minimum they're going to meet what they did last year, and they released 5.
They're playing with
So
fire. They're playing with fire if they allow Microsoft to get a solid lineup ready to go.
Mhm.
They are risking because look, I know God of War is huge. I'm not trying
Yes.
to downplay the significance of the IP, but they got to be careful because if they release on the same month that Microsoft is planning to release Starfield, that's gonna stagger them. Whether they want to admit that or not, it's gonna hinder some of their sales.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be a battle of sorts, let's say, as far as like who's going to pull the mind share depending on the release date. But if I'm Sony, why wait? Why wait for that battle to start? Fire your shots now while you can, because otherwise,
Yeah.
if you're trying to space stuff out and you only got 3 ready for next year compared to the other place saying they have 5 ready, you're already fighting uphill. Yes, you're of quality. Yes, you have the podium right now as far as being the market leader, but yeah, at some point numbers outweigh the amount of bullets you're going to be firing. So it just makes more sense for me, or to me, that if Nixus can do the whole PC day and date, go ahead and release the God of War this year, and kind of put some space between them and Xbox.
No, that's a fantastic point. Let's get Drawn TJ, and then we'll move on to the second topic. Drawn TJ, do you think that God of War hits this year? Is Fuzzy onto something? Do they need to get it out because Microsoft does have a lot loaded for 2023?
Yeah, if I'm Sony, I would definitely I would ship it out in like December, get a head start because play or Xbox next year is going to be loaded with a lot of games, to be honest. And if they want the mind share back, or they want to get head start and make sure their games don't get buried, kind of like how Rail put a $5 super chat and said, they're going to be buried by next year because there's just going to be too many games.
Yeah.
And I mean, December is kind of perfect because you're still having it in this year, so you would give your fans hope.
Yep.
And at the same
Good
time,
holiday game for sure.
Yep. And then it's a nice little Christmas present. Do it like probably like December 15th or something, or like on a Friday or on a Monday of in December, of course. And I would do it on PC, day and date. If you really want to get your subscribers up and you want money up, I would do it. I would port it over to PC. I definitely would.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, Nixus, as we know, they're Spider-Man 2018 is releasing on PC. That's
Yep.
going to be big.
Miles is releasing.
And then Miles is releasing in the holiday. So Nixus, I don't know how big of a studio they are, right? But they are hard at work. They're finishing the touches for Spider-Man 2018. Then they're going to move on over to, of course, Miles, which is going to release this holiday. And that's big for PC players. If you don't have a PlayStation 5 or even a PlayStation 4, I can only imagine what the mods are going to be on those titles. So there's a good shot that they are kind of busy. How
And
big
Boom,
is Nixus? Does anyone know?
I don't know how big they are, Boom, but I do know that the Sony press release on their earnings call was very interesting. How they predicted that their PC gains would be dude, I think triple. Okay, so are they banking on Spider-Man and Miles Morales alone and The Last of Us catapulting these sales, or were they kind of giving us a little bit of hint that God of War Ragnarok was included in there, and I guess nobody caught on to that? I'm not sure about that.
No, it's interesting. Real quick, Rel in the chat drops a very generous $5 super chat and says God of War will release this year. They don't want to go head-to-head with Xbox, and 4 games next year might get buried. Actually, Rel is onto something. And all you have to do is see what history has already provided for us, right? What happened when Elden Ring came out a week after Horizon Forbidden West? Forbidden West got destroyed.
It destroyed it. Yeah,
it got destroyed so bad that Sony wouldn't give us the numbers on what it is, because Sony is very bullish, and they have a right to be. They're the market leader. They have been. I mean, I talked about this yesterday with Joe. Look at what they did in 2018, 2019, and 2020. I mean, could a publisher have a better 3 years? No, they just completely knocked it out of the park. But Horizon came out, and this was almost a repeat of what happened to Horizon when it went up against Breath of the Wild.
And Boom, and Jason Schreier, I just read through the Bloomberg article. He's saying that 3 people close to the source are confirming November as the ship date.
Okay.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he knows his stuff. A-hole for sure, but he does know his stuff. And he does have a lot of connections. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be talking to him, but that's just me. Well, look, the bottom line is that if they can get God of War out and Microsoft doesn't have anything, any rounds in the chamber this year, it's gonna be a banner year for PlayStation, because obviously they start. It's again, great way to bookend the year.
Right.
They started out the year with Gran Turismo. Like Gran Turismo, not a great game. Forget the microtransactions aspect. The game just is not a good-looking game. Horizon is a gorgeous game, a great story. I'm 8 hours into it. It's just, Elden Ring took over for me personally, and 200 hours later, I haven't been back to it. After near 200 hours in Elden Ring, I'll get to it eventually once they can fix out the bugs.
Can I say one more thing, Boom, that
Sure.
I just thought of now that I heard on another podcast, so I can't credit the individual, but I thought it was a great point. The reason why maybe we haven't heard anything yet from Sony from a strategic standpoint too might be because they know that Microsoft is going to have a lot of eyes on them this weekend, and maybe they want to have some type of announcement so that they can counter all the buzz that Microsoft is getting. So maybe their idea is Microsoft get everybody hype on whatever they release, and then maybe Monday even, following the Microsoft press conference, they can come out, because this is a classic Sony move. They can come out and they can say, oh, by the way, that God of War release date is November 11th, by the way, guys.
Yeah, no, it's well, look, I've been saying this for quite some time. Obsidian, they're the masters, and out of all the studios that Microsoft has, they probably run the tightest ship. So can we honestly suggest that Avowed can't take the place of Starfield? Does the 500 people here suggest that at all? That can't happen?
Anything is possible.
Yeah,
I think they can.
Yeah, absolutely they can. There's no doubt about it. They can.
Avowed it looks just as good in my opinion.
Well, Avowed is a game that if you don't know the story, and again, this is just rumor, folks, that is one of the reasons why Microsoft acquired them. They were working on the game. They've been working on the game since before 2018. So the game is going to be big. Obsidian is an amazing, probably one of the best devs that they have. I've said this the other day, and I got a little kickback for it because people just think Insomniac is unfallible, and quite frankly, they are the workhorse. I mean, there's no better studio right now than Insomniac Games for PlayStation.
I agree.
100%. They are carrying the load. Spider-Man Miles Morales. Spider-Man is a masterpiece. Ratchet and Clank, for me, masterpiece, masterclass work, because I'm a platformer guy. I loved every minute of it. We know that they're doing a Resistance remake. At least that's the rumor. We know that they're working on Wolverine. They're working on Spider-Man 2. And again, if there's a show in July, which we believe there's going to be, there is, from what I hear, a third Marvel IP that is exclusive to Sony PlayStation that they are involved with, which would be bonkers. But I said Obsidian is Microsoft's Insomniac Games. Again, that's my personal opinion. Whether or not you believe or not, that's entirely questionable. Again, opinions are like, what? Everyone has one. But I do want to move on to the second topic of the day. And let me just make sure that I get these timestamps down. Now, Fuzzy, I know you got to bounce out of here, brother. Do you got to go? Uh-oh. Maybe Fuzzy did leave already.
Sorry about that. No, I can hang in for a little bit longer. I'm
all right, so we'll actually go
on
to
mute and packing at the same time. We're doing last minute pack. But all
right, so
yeah,
you know what? Let's talk Xbox Game Pass for a hot second. Xbox Game Pass was lifted to another level yesterday, specifically on the Keighley show. Lots of those games are coming into Game Pass day and date. None bigger than the one launching next week with 6-player co-op in
oh my god,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. The game looks like a masterpiece. It's going to be in my top 10, easily top 5 of this year, for the fact that I'm an OG, man. I remember playing these games in these ginormous 6-player cabinets. I remember Avengers and X-Men back in the days. It looked amazing. Game Pass. Now, obviously, there are some hints. John, we'll get to you in a second about what you had to say about what Sarah Bond had to say. And it made me go, maybe there is something here. Mm-hmm. But the question I have for you, Fuzzy, is, listen, there were a lot of, there was some uproar with a lot of people, a lot of fakers out there that were canceling their subscriptions to Game Pass because of the 2 delayed games in regards to Redfall and Starfield. People were, going out there and letting everyone know, their feelings, and that's fine. That's what social media is for. You remember, it's forever, folks. So if you act like a boob, your receipts will be grabbed. But my question is to you is, has with what was announced already for Game Pass and what came of the way of Game Pass yesterday, has the service made its worth in 2022, and what else do you anticipate joining the service as maybe a big surprise announced this Sunday?
I think it's definitely showed its value and its worth time and time again with even some of the smaller titles. Like, yes, the AAAs are what a lot of people are going to salivate for, but there's so many like gems mixed in there. And now that we're going to have like the demos for the upcoming games thrown in there, which I have a gut feeling a lot of those upcoming demos are going to be our like alpha or beta tests for the games that are eventually going to wind up in the service day and date anyway. So I think this is like a new opening for like a floodgate of like excitement for things like kind of like what they did for E3 last year, or for their showcase last year, where they had like a lot of demos. Like, you see the game on the stage, hey, you can play the the demo type of thing. So I think we'll get some nice little bonuses in that regard. And yeah, I know PlayStation was the one recently talking about demos behind the paywall, but I think this is going to be, slightly different in the sense that you more than likely will see some of these games come to the service shortly after, as opposed to no, you get 2 hours to play and then you buy or you move on type of thing. So what they talked about yesterday was awesome. I'm hoping that they also make some sort of like Ubisoft Classic announcement as well, or maybe the full-fledged Ubisoft Plus type of deal. Oh, hold on one sec. Sorry about that. No, but for as far as Ubisoft, I would love to see like a Ubisoft Plus announcement or even Ubisoft Classic, although I have a lot of their games already, but just for the fact that some of my friends don't have like Division 2 or may not have Far Cry 6 yet, this will be a good way for possibly having those titles accessible, and we can now team up in co-op and things like that. The other big thing, which they kind of went silent on since I think the last tweet Aaron Greenberg made, was the whole family plan, which that's the big one I'm looking forward to, because like I even responded to Sarah Bond about like what she was talking about on Game Pass, and I'm like really looking forward to the family plan. 4 gamers in the household, 3 consoles, 3 gaming rigs, a bunch of phones and tablets and laptops. It's like a family plan would be just perfect. Yes, save some money as opposed to having to have like 3 individual or 4 individual subscriptions, because even when you do game share on that, you only get like the console aspect of it, so the
Yeah.
PC stuff doesn't share as well. I mean, you
Right.
can kind of jump through hoops and make it work where one person logs in and the other one plays on that computer
And
at that time.
Fuzzy, I do think that Microsoft is saving an announcement for this Sunday about the family plan that's going to knock everybody's socks off.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. It's like they're going to have all eyes on them, and I think that'd be like a perfect time. Like that would be the perfect time to unveil that. I mean, if they also talk more about, like, they also talked about the Samsung TVs yesterday or the other day, and there's just so much stuff to the value of Game Pass where, yeah, you have your console hooked to your main TV, but if you want to play games on other TVs or on your phone or on your Steam Deck or other tablets and things like that, this service has so many different options. And yes, there are things that the PlayStation Plus service has as well that are pretty decent, but there's going to be some catching up and some room to grow that they're going to have to put forth before I'm fully committed to doing like their top tier. But like for me right now, Game Pass Ultimate is worth every penny. And if you haven't learned by now, Microsoft reward points are easy to come
That's
by.
a real thing, brother. Do you know how much this year alone? I think I about $100 easily.
Yes. So it's
300.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Microsoft makes it easy to keep you gaming. If you want to be into gaming, Microsoft makes it easy for you. Affordable service.
Fuzzy, I've gotten all of my backwards compatibility titles, all my 360 titles, basically with Microsoft Rewards this year.
Awesome. Yeah. That I'm looking forward to what they have to announce this Sunday. All the stuff that they've been talking about over this past year. I mean, yeah, people in their feelings, they're mad. Oh, I'm canceling my subscription. Like, hey, if you want to tell the public, tell the public. I guess that goes in line with taking photos of your meals as well, but not knocking those that do. But it's like, I don't care if you cancel it, and probably the company that you're trying to upset don't care either, because for each cancellation there's probably 2 new subscriptions. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's definitely worthwhile, worth the money and the Microsoft reward points I've spent so far.
Hey, listen, good stuff, brother. And listen, safe flight. Obviously,
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself at FanFest this Sunday. It's going to be a great show.
Send us some pictures, Fuzzy, on the DM.
Yeah, Fuzzy.
Oh, we'll definitely do. And
Share it on Twitter.
I might try and see if I can pop in if you do like a live show before we go into the auditorium or something.
What we're gonna do, we're gonna do a 30-minute pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna cover the 90-minute show, and then we're gonna do a half-hour post-show breakdown. And obviously, I'm gonna be dropping the link. You're part of the DM anyway, so I'll just drop the link in there. And if you can pop in, by all means, just pop in. But listen, I want to welcome in, folks. This is wonderful. 500 plus live viewers for Breakfast with Boom. I want to welcome everyone that's here. Listen, I know that some people will suggest that this is that, you know, a lot of the channel is focused, you know, clearly on just Xbox. It's not the case. This is a multi-plat channel. Yes. Do I have 2 Xbox shows? Yes. Do I give Sony the smoke when they need it? Sure. But I have everything that we talk about so I have every first-party game. I've owned every console, even went way back in the days are in storage. I love my PlayStation 5. I play for exclusives, folks. That's it. That's all I play it for, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But listen, I want to welcome you. If you're finding the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. If you're already here, folks, if you're here and you're enjoying the banter, please consider hitting the like button. That definitely helps this channel with the algorithm. Lots of content is coming. Not only this week already. This will be this is my 4th live show, but next week is going to be bonkers. I am going to something that I cannot talk about yet. I will talk about it hopefully by the end of the week. Yeah, listen, it's going to be a great time to be a part of this channel. If you want to, you know, hang out with us, we have a lot to get into. But John, let's get you into the conversation regarding topic number 2. I mean, Game Pass. It's for me. Look, I've told everyone this. I'm a retired dude. Like, I used to work overtime for games. That's no secret. I've talked about it publicly because you know what? Games are expensive. It's an expensive hobby. John, what's the value for you regarding what was shown and what's coming?
It just goes to show you that the plans are huge, and it goes exactly in line with everything that we talked about following those delays, that they Microsoft was kind of put in a tough spot where they kind of know that they had to make up some of these titles not coming up this year, and I think that they got big plans, and I think that yesterday we can honestly say was just the appetizer, right, for what's to come on Sunday. There's 3 games that Sarah Bond tweeted about in particular: Street Fighter 6, Marvel Midnight Suns, and DC.
Well, see, that's the one I want you to talk about because you know, Sarah Bond, who we know is big time executive over at Xbox, and she had something to say to pique your interest.
Yeah, definitely. So she did say that she was a huge Marvel fan, which, I mean, if you're all following her on Twitter, she has said before, and that she was very excited that that game was coming to Xbox. Now, again, am I looking too much into it? Am I reading too much into it? Maybe, but I think that she is genuinely excited and that the game is coming. But is there more to that? You know, is she?
You know what? Conspiracy theory. Put on the tinfoil hat. Listen, here's the thing.
Speculation,
it makes a lot of sense because if you don't know what her role is, one of the roles or one of the many roles that she has is infusing Xbox Game Pass with content.
Correct.
And for her to say that on this game makes you wonder, John. Please elaborate.
Yeah, absolutely. So it kind of, you know, with all the games that they showed, okay, she specifically pointed out to Midnight Suns. She specifically pointed out to Gotham Knights and to Street Fighter 6. Again, is she excited that these games are coming to Xbox? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's just, I find it kind of weird, you know, that she's like really like cheerleading these particular titles. And I'm telling you right now, if they announce that these games are coming to Game Pass on Sunday, Boom, that's huge. Okay, because that goes in line with exactly everything that we've talked about for weeks already, how they kind of need to kind of counter the bad news that they had close to a month ago. So I think this is a good start. What they showed, Boom, are you freaking kidding me, dude? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles not only coming to Game Pass.
That's one of the biggest games this year, believe it or not, for indies, brother.
Dude, okay, not only did they introduce Casey freaking Jones in that trailer, okay? It looked just like the action figure that I had, dude. And then out of nowhere, you know, the weeks and weeks of speculation were in that this game might not even have 4-player co-op, and they announced that it has 6-player co-op,
just like the old school arcades.
Oh my god, dude! When I saw that, I jumped up like a little kid.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm down, guys. Anyone want to run that? You see me on Xbox?
Oh no,
hit me up.
I'm beating that game 150 times, dude.
Hit me up, Boom. We'll do a run through. I do got dibs on Ralph. I've always been Raphael in all these games.
You know, it's funny. You came up in conversation with me, Everborn, and Kay Asante were talking, and we talked about you specifically that you called for Raph.
I got Ralph.
I called for Donatello. I'm a big Don. I was gonna say Donnie D. I'm not a Donnie D fan, but I'm a Donatello fan.
So that means you got a lot of friends, just like Donnie D. That was his thing. He had a lot of friends, right?
Oh my goodness.
So what's this called? Boom. When they announced this thing looked incredible, dude. And I mean, look, for fans like us that we grew up on this stuff, obviously it's a no-brainer. I was gonna buy 2 copies of this thing. Okay, I'm
buying 2 copies. I'm buying it on the Switch, and I'm buying it. Well, I would have been buying it on Game Pass, but I mean on Xbox, but I don't have to.
There you go. And there is the value of Game Pass coming to fruition. Guess what? That just freed up money for you to spend elsewhere. Yep. And that's the thing about Game Pass that haters just don't understand. It's given us gamers just a platform where we have titles coming in and out, unexpected titles that I never thought that this game was going to come to Game Pass. Okay, especially not day and date. I maybe years later, all right, fine. A year later, fine. But day and date, boom, TMNT. Wow. If this was just the appetizer for this Sunday, this is gonna be incredible, dude. And not to set us up for failure here, but Sarah Bond is very excited about those titles. Sarah Bond also tweeted something about Wonder Woman. I don't want to. If Sarah's listening, I don't want you to think I'm stalking you. Nothing scary like that.
No,
Sarah.
but I did say the color green looks great. It looks good on Gal Gadot, and what? I mean, they need a hero game, so
nothing scary, Sarah. Nothing amazing. Creepy or anything like that. But I'm keeping a close eye on your Twitter because you're just dropping hint after hint, and you're doing a great, phenomenal job of getting us excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I gotta thank
Blinken.
Yeah, Hey Blinken in the chat, who drops a ridiculous and absolutely outrageous $100 super chat, dude. I don't understand what I have done for that worth, but your generosity is extremely. We're grateful for that.
Thank you, sir.
He says this.
Fantastic.
Curious that we haven't seen PlayStation marketing attached to Modern Warfare 2. Great show, guys. I would fall out of my chair if we get Ninja Gaiden and Lost Odyssey games announced this Sunday. Yeah, dude, man.
That would be crazy.
Lost Odyssey remake is one I'm hoping that comes. I hope that's an announcement. Lost Odyssey 1 is an amazing JRPG. It's classic. People have been calling for that. And Ninja Gaiden, man, I would love to see the original remade. Like, just, or a spiritual successor to come. That would be great too. But thank you again for the incredible and ridiculous super chat, brother. Definitely appreciate that very much. Anything else you'd like to add to the conversation, John, regarding Xbox Game Pass? Do we see Gotham Knights, the rumored Gotham Knights, actually drop into Game Pass?
I think, WD, you had something to say real quick?
I'm just gonna let him know there was another super chat before that there was.
Okay, let me grab that. Hold on just a sec.
Just didn't want to miss that one. They're all
Geo Walker.
Oh yes, Keo. Good, and listen, Keo Walker is a good friend of mine. We talk on DMs almost every day. He constantly drops incredible information. Let me just get that over here. Keo Walker says this after dropping a very generous $5 super chat and says Microsoft's 5+ games is the fiscal year, which starts in July. Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because, that's a great point. The fiscal year, folks, if you don't know what that exactly is for business, specifically for this conversation, is the fiscal year of 2022 ends June 30th. The start of fiscal year 2023 for business is July 1st. So what he's referring to is Microsoft said within the 12-month fiscal year, they will have 5+ games, 5 at the minimum, to match what they did in 2022 fiscal year. So that means that starting July 1st, and I would imagine that if Motorsport is one of those games, one of the few first-party games that releases for Xbox this year, that is going to be that's going to be accountable for what they're talking about in this announcement during that Matt Booty interview. But thank you for the super chat, brother, and thank you for that as well. John Wolf, anything else you'd like to add, brother?
Yeah, just to circle back and just finish my thoughts. I do see a lot of hype that Xbox is generating on Twitter with this Marvel Midnight Suns title. There is also a nod that Spider-Man is coming back to Xbox. So I do think that the writing's on the wall with this one. I think that definitely Midnight Suns could be day one on Game Pass. Boom.
Yeah, Finesseful J, good friend of the program. I don't know if anyone played this game. There was a game called on the 360 called Ninja Blade. It
Yes.
was Ninja
Yeah, great
Blade
game.
was freaking absolutely amazing. He says it needs a remake to fully realize its story. Yeah, it had a lot of timed events like button prompts, but that game was freaking phenomenal.
It was from Software also, Boom.
It sure was from
really?
From Software.
Yep.
Made that game, which is bonkers. That game's a gem. I think you could still play it. Is it backwards compatible?
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay, what a shame. What a
You
shame.
need to pull out the 360 and put it.
I still have my Star Wars 360, by the way.
Yeah,
in storage,
I made 360 Slim.
Yeah, nice, very nice. So Web Dave, let's get you in on the conversation. Look, there was a lot of talk. A lot of it was fanboy shenanigans. Game Pass. Listen, I don't get $1 or a quarter or even a penny every time I say it. I am telling you from a consumer's point of view, it's the service I was hoping was going to come to Sony, and that didn't happen. Their service does not interest me because there's no day and date, and that's fine. Someone is going to find value in their service, and if you do, that's awesome. I don't have the same love for Sony service, but I do have the love for Microsoft's service for a lot of reasons. Day and date being one of them, obviously the big one, but their constant additions to it in the form of games that have no A's attached to them and triple A's. And we just saw, and everyone's literally losing their shit over Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming in there, day and date, 6-player co-op. I mean, again, it literally just screams that it's perfect for the service because Xbox is known as the multiplayer box, right? And more importantly, I like to keep bringing up the Gotham Knights because it's been confirmed as 4-player co-op. Next gen only, but 4-player co-op. That does seem to fit the narrative. Midnight Suns is another one that fits the narrative. For you, seeing what they've announced, what could potentially be announced this Sunday, do you feel the value has been met in 2022 regarding Xbox Game Pass?
Simple answer, yes. I
but
think,
but of course we want you to elaborate.
I will elaborate. Don't get me wrong. I'm digging in. Hold on to your hats, Boom. But like Chorus, I'm playing that right now, and oh my gosh, I love that. And I've been holding
great
off
game,
and now it's in Game Pass, and I'm loving it. It's absolutely fantastic, and more things are coming. We just got to wait just a couple more days, and then we'll get some more announcements, some more drops. And you had said, what were you hoping for, to come into Game Pass? What's your a wish or something? And I tell you, whether it's probably not going to happen. It's probably not true. And he even said, Randall Thor 19 said that he, this was his guess, his speculation, his prediction. And all I can say is from his mouth to God's ears. Phil's ears, that is, and I'm hoping that it comes true because whether you like it or not, I love Final Fantasy, the Square Enix.
It would be a drop mic moment.
Comes, oh my god,
dude! Listen,
can I tell you something, guys, real fast? That it's just a little hint that something's up. 2 things, okay? Again, speculation town. Here we come. 2 things. Sony removed the exclusive banner from the game.
Right.
Actually, for both games, for Persona and that game, for that matter.
Okay.
Persona 5 does not have that distinction of exclusive for PlayStation.
Huge red flags. Sony does not do that. They like to let people know things are exclusive to their box. Red flag number 2, didn't Square say they had a big announcement or something like that coming real soon?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And one thing that was kind of surprising, and this is it's on topic but off topic kind of thing, that at the Sony State of Play, when they showed like a couple years ago when they first announced Final Fantasy 16. It was console exclusive, Final Fantasy 16. But yet when they showed it again this time, it had nothing on there about it being an exclusive, which was weird. I mean, considering they were all about pushing their exclusives. Now that may not be anything. That may just be like everybody knows it's exclusive. We don't have to rub it in their face. But Sony is known for rubbing it in your face. So why didn't they do that? I just think I find that very odd. But like I said, Game Pass is amazing, and they even talked about it on the meeting. Boom, there's some more stuff popping up I can't catch. That there's a lot of stuff coming to Game Pass, and that the all access has been extremely successful. Now they're going to bring it into other markets, and that's what I did to get my Xbox Series X was the all access, and it came with Game Pass included. Now, obviously, you pay for it, but the way it's there's no extra cost, there's no interest on it, so it's strictly you're paying for the console over 2 years. And I personally I knew what Game Pass was, but I didn't have it. But now that it came with the with my all access, I can't live without it. And I'm telling you, I will always continue to have Game Pass. It's amazing. In fact, my system, I pay off my system in November, and I've already talked to my wife and got approval. Yes, we're still going to get approval from my wife. Spending lots of money, but she's already said that's cool. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to get a Series S from one of my other rooms, and I'm going to do the same program because it's only going to be $24 a month, and I'll have Game Pass for another 2 years, and I'll have another console and keep it in the other room and pay it off over time. It's easy. It's nice convenience.
Dave, I love that point that you're bringing up, because I do think that Microsoft has achieved their first objective, which was making the Xbox centric gamer feel synonymous with Game Pass. Yep. We already see Game Pass as a Netflix, something that we're gonna have until the end of time. It's just gonna come out of our account every month, right? I think that the next step for them, the evolution to this, is to get to that mass media, which is why they did the announcement that they did, bringing the app to TVs and making it more accessible. Because I think that that's Microsoft's it's obvious their goal is to be the Netflix of gaming, where now people have Netflix and they don't even think about it. It's just something that you need.
Yep. One other thing I want to say though, at that I guess the press event that they had for which great friend of the channel, Randall Thor 19, and also Dealer, both did great videos on the information that came out, and one of the things they said, which I'm real excited about, is the streaming. That if you're Game Pass and you have the cloud streaming, is it one of the things they're working on? They said hopefully it'll be available in November. Is that there's certain titles that say like you already own that are not in Game Pass, but you own them on your console, that it can actually be able to stream through the cloud. It's something that you already own. To me, that's a super win, because I've got and it's only certain titles they said at the time, but I've got Elden Ring on digital on my console, and if I can just stream it without having to, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I would love that, because I use it on my Kay Asante's in the chat, and I know he loves these things. Yeah, I stream it right there on this. Yes, my Steam Deck. I love my Steam Deck, and Game Pass works wonderfully on a Steam Deck. Kay Asante, you're the man, by the way.
Yep, it certainly is. Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, Boom.
No. Good stuff, man. Listen, it's look, the reality is that big announcements are coming. I know there's some people in the chat saying that Tim Dork said yesterday that Final Fantasy VII would not come to Game Pass.
Right.
I mean, listen, we don't know. Tim knows his stuff. There's no doubt about it. Tim's a good friend of this program. And only time is going to tell. It would be a very big drop the mic moment to get those games onto Xbox, specifically because a lot of people want to play them. There are a lot of people. I mean, listen, I haven't beaten Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. I bought it. I bought the collector's edition, sitting right here. It's great, gorgeous. But I want to finish it on Xbox. So if it comes to Xbox, I'm gonna buy it if I have to, or I'm gonna play it on Game Pass. As for
Right.
Persona 5, not my bag. You know, I bought the collector's edition when it came out for the PlayStation 4. After the 5th train ride, just not for me. I didn't get it, and that's fine. But there are so many people that really want Persona 5,
And that's a move for the West.
Included.
That's a move
Yes.
for the West, for the
Yeah.
streaming to take off in the West.
Yep.
They need Final Fantasy and Persona to be in their library.
100%. Real quick, Michael Smith drops a very generous $10 super chat. Michael, welcome to the program, brother, and thank you for the generosity. He says Sony's new service launches between 2 Xbox shows and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle launch. Chess, not checkers. Once you can compare both services, there won't be a comparison to Game Pass. Great show, Boom. Well, thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know that there's going to be a ton of people that are going to subscribe to Sony's new service, and they're going to do it for their reasons. And that reason cannot be argued because you're the consumer and you're making the choice to spend your money. For me personally, like, I think Stray looks amazing. I'll just buy the game. I'm not going to spend $18 a month to get that. Now, if they added 10 more type of, smaller games like that, then it would be worth it. But they're not going to do that. They're going to nickel and dime you. They're going to give you a few things. They're never going to include first party. They're never going to include day and date. And if that, in fact, stays to what it is, then they'll never get my money because I just don't find the service has value. But that is just my opinion. Drawn TJ, let's get yours regarding Xbox Game Pass. And then we're going to break down the Keighley event. We'll spend the rest of the show talking about it. We'll give our top 3 picks and, what were the show standouts of Summer Game Fest. I thought it was a fine show. I thought it was very well produced, and that's typical. That's just what Geoff does. He puts on good shows. This was certainly one of the better Summer Game Fests for sure. The last couple were not really that good. This had a Game Awards kind of a feeling to it, so I quite enjoyed watching it. I watched it twice because obviously I got to prepare for the show. But Drawn TJ, for you, has Game Pass made its value worth $15 a month? And what are you expecting that they could potentially add this year?
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of a lot of value. Definitely. I mean, I get my Forza, Halo, Gears, and then I get other games in it. So yeah, it's really worth it. And then at the same time, to add new stuff to it, I would do Midnight Suns, Gotham Knights, and Ubisoft Plus. That's what I would do if I was Microsoft, since they got the money. Ubisoft is kind of one to sell and do stuff, but don't buy them. Just bring in their portfolio. If you bring in their portfolio, it boosts their revenue. They make money, and in return, the subscribers go up for Game Pass. And that's what Microsoft's their real goal is to make the subscriptions go through the roof. And what better way to bring Ubisoft Plus in, like the full version? If they were bringing the full version, I guarantee you that they would see like probably what do you think? Like in there 5-10 million people subscribe.
You know what?
I mean,
I want to elaborate on your point, TJ.
Yeah.
I want to elaborate on your point, Ron TJ, because you're hitting on some important notes. What I didn't realize is that if you are a PC owner, which is where Ubisoft Plus came from, right?
Yep.
That service is $20 a month. I don't think it's that pricey. I think it's well worth it because you're getting everything. You're getting, and they release a lot of games, so you get a lot of games. You get a lot of value for your money for Ubisoft Plus, and you get the DLC, which is bonkers, right? To your point, wouldn't it be pretty damn incredible if somehow or another Ubisoft Plus was announced at this showcase, which is Sunday, or even the Tuesday show for that matter, but it was introduced as no extra cost for Xbox gamers. Now that would be a mic drop moment.
Boom! Don't get me excited, but that's. I'm more excited already for this Sunday. I'm gonna be on Boxing Burgers podcast reacting to it.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been counting the days for this showcase. To be honest, yeah, if they do that, oh my God, that's the equivalent of like having EA Pro, in the Game Pass, but They don't have that. They have the regular cheap version. But yeah, you're talking about all Assassin's Creeds. You're talking about Tom Clancy games. You're talking about they own so many games. Splinter Cell. That would be the new Splinter Cell day one. By the way, it wouldn't even have to be a Game Pass deal. It would just come with Ubisoft Plus if that was the case. So if you think about it, there's your game, boom. And I love Splinter Cell. So that would be, oh my God, it'd blow people's minds. They would have to digest that first because they'd be like, oh, okay, I may get Assassin's Creed. I may get this, and this. That's cool. But then if people explain it to them and say, yeah, but you're going to get the new Splinter Cell day one because you get all their games day one and their DLCs. So you get the new Splinter Cell when it comes out or the remake.
It would be,
crazy.
What if they just did not necessarily the whole big plus, but what if they did like what Sony's doing and have the little condensed version? I would still think it would be a benefit, especially if they didn't raise any prices. I still think it would be a benefit.
Yeah, I agree. If they don't increase the price, but if they do increase the price, I think that's an L in my opinion because I already own those games and.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to up-res them and, add frame rate boosts, then that's fine. Then that'd be totally worth it. That would be totally worth it. But
then you got to think, TJ, not everybody has them. You know what I mean? Not everybody owns them. So that's the benefit of Game Pass to a lot of people is that I can't afford to buy everything.
But everybody has a price, Web Dave. You got to remember.
Name your price, Tron TJ. Let's
$1 million man. Everybody's got a price.
Ted DiBiase.
I'm saying Microsoft's got billions set aside.
That's true. That's true.
Or was it billions or millions?
No, they had 500 million. Again, this is a rumor, folks. I don't do their finances, but it was rumored that they had 500 million set aside specifically for Xbox Game Pass deals.
Just that,
I say drop 100 million
in the couch for that.
Get
it's
it.
in the couch.
I say get it. Put it in Game Pass. You boost up your subscriptions, and then you can make another deal with Ubisoft to make an exclusive game if you want, like a new game, like an old IP or something,
or like Splinter Cell. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, they're already making that apparently.
I know, but I'm just saying, make it exclusive.
Yeah.
Hey, boom, Sarah Bond. At this point, she's just toying with us. She just tweeted about 20 minutes ago about her experience playing GoldenEye in college, and giving a shout out to some buddies. Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah,
she's pulling at the heartwenty.
Yeah, hey, absolutely. GoldenEye.
I gotta mention something, Boom.
Sure.
I looked up because people are saying that when I watched Mav when he did the reveal for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the worldwide reveal. It didn't show any marketing, but if you actually look it up, it says that you get the open beta on PlayStation first.
Yes, and they also showed the PlayStation button prompts as well.
Is that still considered marketing, or is that just partial marketing? Just get that.
Don't know.
It's a great question, but let me tell you, the color scheme that they decided to go with is highly suspect.
Yeah,
with the green.
Yeah,
a lot of green. A lot of green. Yeah.
But wasn't that the last one? The first one was that color too?
No, it wasn't.
Modern Warfare wasn't green. Are you sure?
It was brown.
Well, listen. One way or another, we are only a couple of days away from the event, and if anything is going to be shown, it's going to be shown then. It is expected to be a mic drop event after mic drop event. Hopefully, they do deliver, and I'm looking forward to it. But listen, folks, I want to move on to the final topic of the show, and it's a big one. It's again, we're going to get everyone's opinion on the on what Summer Game Fest meant to them. I want to get your top 3 picks of what were the standouts for you personally. Listen, for me, I give it a solid B+. I quite enjoyed it. I thought there were a ton of reveals. I mean, I have my notes in front of me, and there was nothing shocked me more than Goat Simulator 3. No, I'm just kidding. That game was.
I thought that was Dead Island. Honestly,
Thought it was because the way that they did it, they did it specifically to toy with you. Yes,
they stole Dead Island's freaking intro and just put goats into it.
They put goats into it.
Oh,
all right. So my like I said, for me personally, B+. Geoff Keighley delivers again. I know he gets a lot of slack, and he makes his own bed, so to speak. He puts himself in the corner sometimes when he does, just silly things. But I quite enjoyed the show. B+ for me. The three standouts. Callisto Protocol, man. Holy shit!
Beautiful
does that game look so freaking good? Here's the thing. Them going first before Dead Space, I'm excited for the studio for that reason, because this is the original team that made Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. They were canned and sent on their way. The studio was closed, and they've made this new studio. Absolutely shame on EA. And to see this game look as good as it does, oh my god! Obviously, I'm gonna be a cheapie here. I gotta pick Turtles as my number 2, because Turtles, it just looks so good. I'm definitely gonna be playing with the community as much as I can with that game, because that game I'm gonna run through it multiple times. I love side-scrolling beat 'em ups. That's because I'm old. But speaking of being old, we got a chance to see a game get a sequel after 30 years. Holy shit! Are you kidding me? Flashback 2. My brother Neo Mental and I are such huge Flashback fans, and they remade Flashback 1 a couple of years ago, as a matter of fact. Flashback 2, again, it's a sequel to a game that launched 30 years ago. Fuzzy, are you still here, brother?
Yes, I'm still here. Just finished up packing some more stuff, getting ready.
Yeah, let's get you in and out, brother. Let's get you in and out. What would you grade Summer Game Fest 2022, and more importantly, what are your top 3 picks?
I gave it a strong B+, just because there was pretty good stuff for pretty much every platform on there. Whether you own a PlayStation, whether you own a Switch, whether you own an Xbox, or whether you own a PC, there was definitely something there for you. My top 3 picks, I'm going to start off with the one that just flew under the radar. At first, I thought it was like, oh, maybe this is Atomic Heart or something. It was Routine.
Yeah, Routine,
which I guess is coming.
Great,
yeah,
that looks so good.
Yeah, it has this like, I don't know. It was like a cross between like Aliens and Atomic Heart, and just I love just that small sample that we saw. Definitely looking forward to more of the gameplay of it. Another one on there is Callisto Protocol, but that one they already sold me like months ago. So.
Yeah.
But it was awesome to see some more gameplay of that. Street Fighter 6 is definitely growing on me. Like at first I was kind of like, oh, the extra wide Ryu. I don't know how I feel about that, but overall, like I'm liking that like halfway real, halfway like caricature aesthetic that they have for it, and the colors that they have between like almost like a shadow and like power move type deal. I really like that look overall. But Turtles was definitely up there, but there was also like a what was it, Fort Solis or something, which is almost like another Dead Space type of game. So we're getting our
horror
buffet
was a big
horror
push this year. Yeah,
it's awesome to see. Like I'm big into racers. I'm also big into more so third person shooters than first person shooters, but still. Like now we're getting these horror games that are more of like sci-fi horror, and I'm all for it. But Fort Solis is another cool one, and then my last one that I'll mention that just it didn't really catch me off guard, but it was something I wasn't expecting to be kind of into, and Scarlet Nexus kind of brought me into this aesthetic as well. That I kind of like these style games. Was Zenless Zone Zero?
Yeah, the Triple Z. Yeah, it looked good, dude. It looked really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so they like I said, there was tons of good stuff in that show, but those are like the standouts for me. I mean, not to say that there weren't other standouts, but those are the ones that's like on my either day one buy list or I'm keeping an eye out for more info.
Yeah, you know which one I forgot about that was at the beginning of the show that they didn't really show us what it is. I believe it's a twin stick shooter, and
Mhm.
that's the new Aliens game.
I
Oh,
was gonna
yeah.
mention that. Boom, you'll hear my
Dark
thoughts
Descent
on that.
looks
Yeah,
freaking dope. I mean, listen again. There
I
was
hope
a
it's better than
small
Fire
little.
Team.
I don't know. I thought it was like an add-on to Fire Team. To be honest.
Yeah, at
You're-
first I thought
that's
so too.
exactly where I'm going with this.
But yeah, so John, you know, let's get your show score and your 3 picks. What
I
did they deliver?
I think they did, Boom. I think they delivered, but I will have to give the show a B minus just because of the circumstances surrounding the big reveal that was supposed to be at the end. It got, unfortunately for Geoff and the staff, it got spoiled. And you could tell that he was pretty bummed up about that. And so was the dude from Naughty Dog. I don't know why his name is leaving.
Oh,
me
Neil
now.
Druckmann.
Yeah, Neil. Neil was that. It looked like they were both a little bit bummed about that. That, you know, the surprise, what was supposed to be the main event for the show, got leaked out. But and I do think that overall, I did kind of take away from the impact of that Geoff was going for. So I'll have to give it a B minus. I also have to give it a B minus because I thought that they showed a lot of similar genres back to back, which was kind of like this space adventure sci-fi type games. They showed a little bit too many of them back to back, and I feel like if the pacing there was a little off, where it got a little samey for a little bit there. But overall, fantastic job. I really love the way that Geoff it was one game announcement after the other. Callisto Protocol stands out, Boom, as the top of my list. That is number one, my most anticipated game of the year. All right, when they showed it off in the state of play, it shot up there big time because it's giving me all those Dead Space feels. But this is Dead Space, the evolution of Dead Space. It's not a simple little remake like EA is going to be producing later in January. This is the natural evolution, right? So I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, TMNT, like you mentioned, to touch briefly on the Aliens game that's coming out, that they really didn't show anything. Boom, I'm there, I'm sitting down, dude. I got my drink in my hand, and I put my drink down all of a sudden, and I go, SOBs, they're gonna do it. Predators are coming to Alien Fire Team. I got so excited, dude. I thought it was gonna be an expansion for Fire Team Elite. I thought the Predators were in the house, and all of a sudden I'm like,
yeah,
what just happened right now? So that was a little bit that was a little bit of a downer for me. And then dude, we got to like Fuzzy mentioned. Wow, man, that they showed just so much. The Street Fighter 6 reveal of Guile for me was so huge because that game is hitting on all the right notes for me because I was
the fact that it's that's a multi-plat is fantastic. Yeah,
dude, and they went back to the Street Fighter 3 style with the graffiti and the hip hop feel to it. I'm really digging it. It's really it really has me hyped up. Guile looked like he's been working out with The Rock. He looked bigger than ever. And I thought the gameplay looked really solid there. Overall, Boom, I'm really happy with the show. I'm a little bit bummed out at how it ended, but I think that Geoff definitely delivered and deserves a lot of credit for putting on a fantastic show.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. Let's get Web Dave and get your opinion on it. But Dave, before I get to you, bro, let me catch up some of the super chats. We have Brett Bingham, good friend of the program. He drops a $5 super chat and says, I'd believe it about Ubisoft. One of the Game Pass perks right now is an add-on pack for Assassin's Creed Origins with the thinking emoji. I think you might be onto something there, fella. That's for sure. Rel drops an additional and very generous $2 super chat and says, go look at Sarah Bond's Twitter name. I will do that as soon as the show is done.
Sarah Bond.
Yeah, absolutely.
See?
And we also had James, who's been a member for 25 months for the channel. Thank you so much, James. He says, top highlights for me: Shredder's Revenge, Modern Warfare 2, Cuphead, Callisto Protocol, and the top-down Aliens Dark Descent. Yeah, I loved every one of those picks, brother, and I agree with you. I hope it's a twin-stick shooter because it
looked like it. It looked like it at the end.
I thought it was an RTS, but they said it's an action arcade type of title, which means it's probably a twin-stick shooter. That's dope. You know, it's funny. One of the greatest RTSs of all time that no one has ever played. No one will ever play unless they
I know
bring
where
it
you're
back. And
going.
it's unlike Aliens versus Predator.
Yep.
For I think it was the OG Xbox and a PlayStation 2. I think it was. Oh my God! It had all three. You can use the Marines, you can use the Predators, you can use the Aliens. It's worth like $300 if you have. I have a copy of it sealed and I have a copy of it opened. It's unbelievably very, very hard to find. But Web Dave, let's get your opinion. What did Geoff Keighley's event score for you, and what were your top 3 standouts?
Well, my score is a little lower than everybody else's.
Okay,
I give
no,
it
that's
a
all right, brother.
C plus, maybe.
For trying.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but I mean, I was pumped, man. I was sitting there ready for it, and it was like started off strong, and then it was like, does this really have to be 2 hours?
Just to add to your point, Dave, you actually made mention of this. Geoff Keighley did, in fact, come out and say that there were several things pulled.
Yeah,
yeah,
I totally understand that. I mean, and again, I'm for what he put out there. That's the score I would give it. Now, I mean, is it his fault that it got dropped down because they pulled some stuff beforehand? No, or some things got leaked. You know, I get it, but that's where I'm giving it. I'm standing on that because it's like I said, Callisto Protocol, like we talked about. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. It was very well done. I mean, I can hardly wait to get in there and use that grabber type weapon. I think that's going to be awesome. And then like I said, this is like second. This is right with you, Boom, so far. But the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, man, I'm there. That to me was another big, strong game, especially when they announced the 6-player co-op. I'll be playing as Shredder, as everybody knows. So, because I'm the old guy. Yeah. Boom started talking about old, and I was like, he's going to me next. Thanks, Boom. You were talking about the other game, but that's okay. But then, there's there's a few other standouts. The one that was that's going to be the Xbox exclusive, I thought was pretty good. I can't remember the name of it now.
Routine.
Yeah, that routine that looked really good.
That looked freaky, dude. Looked
but
really
another
good.
one that really was impressive,
thought it
and
was
I haven't
Terminator.
played this game in a while, was was the Call of Duty. And I'm like, maybe it's because I know that Microsoft is gonna own it, and it's eventually most of those games, if not all of them, are gonna be coming to Game Pass at some point. Maybe not right away, but at some point they'll be in Game Pass. Maybe that's what's gotten me wanting to play it again, but seeing it, I think it looked really good, and I'm looking forward to that one as well. So,
yeah, real quick, Donald Taco drops an additional $2 super chat and says, "Not enough love for Witchfire. It looked dope.
It looked
Witchfire,
good too.
Oh yes.
Witchfire did look dope. I'm not going to front. That actually looked really good.
That looks
there
like
was quite a few.
You know what's a dark horse for me, Boom? That metal. What was it? The
hold on, I got it here.
Metal Hellsinger.
Metal Hellsinger.
That was hitting all the right notes for me too, Boom.
There's a demo up right now on all the consoles.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what else. The Zenless one looked really good.
Layers of Fear.
Dark Tide looked good. Layers of Fear. I like Bluebird. This is Unreal Engine 5, so it's probably gonna look really good. But TJ, let's get your opinion on it, brother. What did you score the show, and what were your top 3 picks?
I honestly would give it a B. It wasn't the best show, but I saw a lot of games that I'm very interested in.
Okay.
And my top 3 would be Callisto Protocol. That's number 1. That game looks like a really scary, awesome game with great audio, which will be amazing in my theater room. I would love that. So I'm definitely getting that day one, regardless if it's a Game Pass or not. Yeah, and then the other game, oh man, it's hard to choose. Witchfire would be probably second, and then third would be, oh man, so hard because a lot of these games are great. Midnight Suns, Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yeah, it did look good.
Solid picks.
Is Marvel Midnight Suns RTS? Like, that's what people are saying.
It's an RPG, but okay. So
Right.
it's kind of like an RPG-ish type game, but instead of you just picking what command you want to do, they give you cards. So it kind of combined the elements of an RTS type RPG like, but it's card based. But they say that the gameplay is very satisfying because it's very unique in every fight because you don't know what deck you're gonna get.
Right.
Then I changed my third pick. I'd rather get the Corey or Gotham Knights. The Corey I already bought.
Yeah, that came out today. As a matter of fact, that Mario
it's-
Strikers released today. As a matter of fact,
it sucks the multiplayer is not coming till July though. We gotta wait a whole month. Yep.
Yeah.
For the Corey. Yep. If you want to play with friends, sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait until July.
Game
So
looks
they're right
good. So
there.
I love Supermassive.
Oh yeah, they created Dark Pictures. Great games. Yes.
Yeah. So
And
listen,
what was that game that came out on PlayStation? Boom. Man, I'm forgetting
Until
the name.
Dawn.
Until Dawn. That's
Until
man,
Dawn
that's
is
an
still one of
underrated
the best
game.
looking PlayStation 4 games on the market. That game was
Yep.
incredible. I missed getting the trophy for having everyone live by one freaking character. I made one mistake at the end, man. I was so pissed.
I'm a sucker for slasher films, so that game to me was awesome, dude.
Absolutely good stuff. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's your Breakfast at Boom for this Friday morning. Hopefully you enjoyed the 2 hours of banter that we had. Let's get to the outros. We'll get everyone out of here. And we'll start first with Fuzzy, who actually did make the entire show. Fuzzy, sell your brand, brother. We know you're going to be at FanFest this Sunday. Obviously, you're going to be bringing back a bunch of pictures, a bunch of videos
You're
for
lucky, Fuzzy.
so listen, sell your brand. Tell them about your YouTube channel. Where can people reach out to you on social media?
Oh, it was awesome being here with you guys, and it was so awesome having Drawn TJ on here as well. I do apologize, kind of dipped out and in and stuff like that while packing and had to put things on mute, but so excited. Anybody going out there, hope to see you out there. For anybody who wants to hear my ramblings on anything gaming related, definitely give me a follow on Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere. My YouTube channel, mainly racing replays, a few points and tips on some of the racing stuff. It's also @fuzzy_Belvedere. But definitely be on the lookout for some videos and some pictures out there while getting ready for FanFest. But thank you so much for having me on. Thank you guys. I will catch you when I get back on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. We'll be looking to obviously, if you said you'll have the link if you want to pop in after the big announcements. But John Wolf, sell your brand, brother. Tell everybody where you're going to be this Sunday, and more importantly, where can people reach out to you on social media and subscribe to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, absolutely. Boom. I know that you're going to put the link to my Twitter down below, guys.
Yep.
Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube. I'm usually putting up gameplay videos. I've been doing Diablo Immortal recently. That game has me pretty hooked right now. I'm not going to lie. Looking forward to Sunday, Boom. This is so special to spend, to have these conversations with community members. Drawn TJ, thank you for joining us today. Fantastic job, dude. I always see you in the comments, brother, and you always give good opinions and thoughts, and I really enjoy and appreciate talking to individuals like yourself that have good opinions and good thoughts around these topics. And yeah,
Appreciate
guys, no problem, man. Sunday's gonna be huge. Before everyone leaves, I'd just like to remind everyone, please give Boom a thumbs up so that we can give the channel the props that it needs. This Sunday, guys, is going to be huge. I'm going to be live streaming the event. I'm not going to be able to do a reaction or join you, Boom, because right after I have to kind of take my little one. We're going to go out. So I'll be live streaming it on my channel to get my real raw reactions. You can find it there. And thank you so much, Boom, for the opportunity to be on your show as always. And for the rest of the panel, Fuzzy, have fun. WD, enjoy the show. And Boom, sit back and relax, brother, and just enjoy it, embrace it. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts later on Sunday evening.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, brother. And of course, can't wait to have you join us live on Sunday. And obviously, we'll listen. All next week is going to be reactions to what happened. And again, it's going to be a lot of conversations of what was shown, what wasn't shown. Did Microsoft hit? Did they miss? and what are the big surprises. And I think there's going to be quite a few of them. Remember, they're having 2 shows. But Web Dave, sell your brand, brother. You do incredible one-on-one interviews. You've been doing a ton of them. Everyone on this panel has been interviewed. I'm almost positive of it. So, again, sell your brand, brother. Where can people reach out to you on social media? But more importantly, check out these incredible one-on-ones.
Thank you so much, Boom. Again, it's always an honor to be on any of your shows, and I do appreciate that greatly. Outbreak Podcast, outbreakpodcast.com is our website, or you can just do Outbreak Podcast. And of course, Boom's going to have my links in the description of this episode right now. So if you need to find it, click on it, subscribe to my channel, get all these great interviews. I've got one out right now that's really good. It's a lot of people may not know him, but he's really good and does a daily show of news and information, which is the Plume Network. Tony at Plume Network does a really good job. And if you don't know anything about him, you definitely should check it out. It's a good Canadian kid. And then coming up this week, coming up on Monday, I have Doom Cutie from the Risket and the Biscuits show that they do, which is the
great person.
Exactly. She's super nice and super informative, and she is just passionate about gaming, and it's awesome. Their show is Xbox Infinite, which is a really good show that she's on. So you can check that out. I also got 2 more coming up next week that I'll be interviewing, which will be BitCloud. I'll be interviewing him, which I'm looking forward to, and also King David. So those are future interviews that'll be up there as well. So. Yeah, and it's things are only getting bigger from there, buddy. I'm telling you.
I love it. Yeah, no, good stuff. Good interviews as always, and love what you do with the community. Super appreciate it. Drawn TJ, brother, tell everyone they can follow you on Twitter, and what else you got going on, dude?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Drawn TJ. I'm gonna be on Box and Burgers podcast on Sunday, watching the show. We're gonna join afterwards, like we're gonna start it actually afterwards, so that way there's no interruptions. So we take it in fully, and then we digest it and we react to it, like what our takes are of, was it an L, was it good? I hope they show Forza Motorsport. They almost have to, at least if let's say it's true. I mean, the worst case scenario, let's say they don't have any their exclusives there, and it's only just third-party deals. They need to at least show Forza Motorsport, please, for the love of God. They need to. Yeah. If not, I would say it's an L. But otherwise, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to have a lot of mic drop moments, and I think one of yours is going to actually be there. Boom. I think the Splinter Cell one will be there. I hope.
I've been wrong for 7 years in a row, folks. If you just find the channel for the first time, I've been calling Splinter Cell for years.
You're due. Boom.
Dude, I would love it. I would literally I would jump up and down in my theater room if I see that. I will jump up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We had over 530 people here on a Friday morning for Breakfast with Boom.
Hey, Boom.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, there is a super chat. I didn't know if you saw that.
No, I did
Everyone
not.
Hit the like button and subscribe.
So
wow. Hey, Blinken drops, dude, an additional $20 super chat and says, when is Xbox Game Pass going to stop marketing 100 plus games? And why not say 300 or 400 plus games? That's a great point. First of all, thank you for the additional. Yeah, they have. I think they have close to 500 right now. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if they don't want to paint themselves into a corner. I mean, there's always been that many games. Maybe they keep it low so the inherent value conversation says, well, we advertise 100, but we got 500 games in there. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a great. I'd love to sit down and have someone actually from Xbox actually answer that question. That's a great point.
It's actually a marketing thing, Boom. Not to get too deep into it, because I know we're about to go, but I think that the higher number you show to people, the less attractive something actually looks. I heard something about that not too long ago.
It's like undersell, over deliver.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for the super chats that come in. Obviously, they do power the show through programs that we have to pay for to run the thing, new equipment, and of course, more importantly, the big giveaways. We did one big one for Easter. We have 3 more big ones coming up. For the 4th of July, we're going to do a nice $300 one, and maybe even a little bit more. And then, of course, we have one for Boom's birthday bash. That one we give at least $500 away worth of stuff. And then this year, for the Christmas holiday, we are going to attempt. And again, remember, this money that is powered by the super chats that come in. Do $1,000 giveaway, and all you got to do is be in the chat. And that's it. If you're a channel member, you get an additional entry. If you are dropping a super chat, you get an additional entry. And that's what we do. We try to put the money back in to the channel and give back to the community as much as we can. But listen, enjoy this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun no matter what platform you're on. But be back here Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a 30-minute pre-game show, getting our excitements out there, our anticipations. Maybe we'll get something to break before then. We're going to watch the show with you live. You're going to put the screen full for you. You're not going to see us. You're going to just watch the show. You're going to listen to the show. You're going to see us live react with you. And then after the show, we're going to do a 30 to 45-minute, breakdown of what was shown. And then obviously that is going to end that show on Sunday. And then we're going to do it all again next week. But listen, thank you again for being here. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Game on wherever you enjoy gaming. And of course, I'm going to close out the show, folks, with something that's important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he said, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. Live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.